Welcome to Let's Talk About Tech. It's my great pleasure to host today Jonas Friedrich. We have a Venionaire Tech dinner where the topic is user experience design. And you, Jonas, you have a company called Naow in that space. You sold a media factory specialized on videos, and you are a famous sports commentator on Sky Sports. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, thanks for having me, Berthold. And I feel flattered, glad to be here. And let's start from the beginning. Yes, you're right. I follow the path of a sports commentator. I work as a commentator for football and golf for Sky Germany and Prime Video. At the same time, I always kind of followed the path of entrepreneurship. I fell in love with marketing, fell in love with digital products, a little bit of tech. And why? That's a good question. Because usually commentating is a 100% job. Yeah, that's right. But at the same time, just to comment man in short trousers, sometimes maybe it's a dream job, definitely. But there was always this second passion. And with Naow, I can follow this second passion. Creating cool user experiences, creating cool websites that have a special edge, that are a bit different from maybe other websites. I still love what I'm doing on both sides of my life.
That's amazing. Our audience here actually has the pleasure to learn a little bit about user experience design from you. Our guests at the VIP dinner will hear that personally from you, but maybe you want to explain a little bit how your definition of user experience is.
Well, user experience is at the same time very, very easy. It is everything that works is a good user experience. At the same time, it can be very, very complicated because our life, especially our life in tech, sometimes is complex and sometimes it's not easy to handle. We kind of follow the art of creating things that are engaging. We really like to design things that are a pleasure to watch, to click, to follow a path, sometimes joyful, sometimes a bit nice to have, but at the end of the day, always useful for the brand, for the product. So the same principles and the same rules apply here as in every design task, in every design challenge. Form follows function, but at the end of the day, I would say that form follows function can also be nice designed, beautiful, and a pleasure to a pleasure to watch and to click.
So it's all about web experiences, and your clients are quite famous. Exactly. I've seen that on the website. What are the typical clients?
It started organically with a customer called SAP. The one digital company we have in Europe, basically. Thanks to their trust, we kind of developed our little agency called Naow. It's a small agency. We are boutique. We work for few clients only. We are happy to work for big tech companies at the same time we call them hidden champions as well. So these are typical German or Austrian or Swiss companies with a industrial background. We do this since 2021. We have a nice, cool team, very talented designers and developers as well. And we're happy to work for our clients.
And those SMEs and family businesses, I would say, I can imagine that they are a little bit difficult to handle, right? How do you make sure that your designs and your process is always customer-centric and meets the expectations of your clients? Do they really know what they want when they start working with you?
First of all, they are not complicated at all. Maybe this is luck, maybe this is coincidence, I don't know, but we had the pleasure to work with very friendly and easy people and clients. At the beginning, there's a need, and the need can have different variations. It can be a simple relaunch, the feel or the need for a relaunch of the old website. It can be different. It can be a complex, let's say, topic, not so easy to promote. Maybe not suitable for a video, for example, because too complicated. And one or the other, a cool website, a cool web experience, we call it Flagship Experience, can be a cool solution. It can be a cool solution for developing a brand, for enhancing a brand. It can be a cool solution for declaring or explaining, is maybe the better term, for explaining a complex matter in a nice and a fine way, which makes fun, and at the end of the day is a bit better suited as a video or just a picture, or as well as a text.
Let me dig a little bit deeper on the process and techniques that you use to really make sure that your work is customer-centric and delivers what the clients have in mind. Yeah. I've experienced that a little bit myself through a project where I got to know you a little bit. And I know that you take a lot of time for this interactive process to make sure the client is on board.
Yeah, as mentioned before, sometimes it's easy and complex as well. It starts with taste. It starts with a sense for beautiful things and having and to look after beautiful things. Second is experience on our design team as well. They are really highly talented, and I really appreciate what they are doing in our daily business. Third is testing and speaking to people, and of course, testing with people you trust, testing with people you don't know, and this all together gives, I would say, a very valid process that leads to really cool experiences we can deliver.
Mm-hmm. I would have thought you answer a little bit into the direction that you start with the mood. Like, do you like something like Apple, or shall it be like Microsoft?
Of course.
And like with this process, it feels that it's organically, but it on the other hand, it also felt like there was design behind it in how you step by step dig deeper a little bit.
I would say what you mean is that's it. I'm lucky that it seems systematically. At the end of the day, it's taste. So we try to develop a feeling for the customer, and it is a human thing. It is about interaction and developing feeling for the brand or for the people behind the brand. And then you immediately ask yourself, okay, what could suit to them? What could be the perfect match? What would be the perfect fit? And out of this feeling, you develop let's say, a first step, a first click dummy. And of course, you're not always starting by scratch. Or from scratch. You always start with maybe something that is already finished and very successful in another branch or in another way.
Now it's 2023 and internet has become a business, right? It's all about conversion. It's all about getting the customers to buy. And sometimes to me, it feels a little bit like a conflict, right? In getting people in the funnel really fast to close a deal versus UX design, a strategy that actually is built to keep people interacting with the brand. Do you see there a conflict, or what is your philosophy around UX?
Of course, there is. If you take a first look, it is a conflict. But if you take a step back, you see it's not necessarily a conflict, because we are talking about different things. So both is right. It is very right to say maybe a shop, for example, well, it has to work fast. It has to work optimized for the thumb, for the mobile and stuff. And it is about, is it easy, really, with 2 or 3 clicks to have the buying process definitely right. On the other hand, there is still the need for engaging and having a good time with a brand. So typically, brand building is outside the digital world. We know it by nature, by seeing things, by telling word of mouth and stuff. In the digital world, we assume that there's a need also for having a good long time with a brand, an engaging time, a friendly time, a nice time, so that you have the chance to get in touch with a brand. At the end of the day, it's a nice touch point, to get in touch with a brand in a really cool manner. It's not necessarily this leads to a shopping process or anything, but of course you can measure also the time that a customer or a prospect spends with a brand. You could measure joy. It gets a bit complicated there, so it's not too sophisticated there. But we always like the feeling of creating a joyful experience. Of course, we get feedback. It is just joy to watch. It is nice to experience things like this. So on this part, it's more a feeling. It's not too number orientated. And I really appreciate and like the fact that it is so as it is.
Do you measure success of the experiences that you deliver to your clients? And do you optimize them on an ongoing process with them?
Of course we do. Of course we try to track things as good as possible. As mentioned, it is hard to track joyful experiences. That's not so easy. But there are some really hard numbers. First is time, the time users spend with an experience. Second is, what is their path? Do they really follow the path to the end, from beginning to the end? And this is a big success already. Of course, we try to enhance things when we see that some things maybe do not work properly as we designed it. But in the recent past, there was never a big shift or a big adjustment we had to do. You can measure also really, let's say hard numbers, like creating leads, like visits, and for a project, for example, for a really cool mid-sized company named Rösler, we can really track cool numbers. They're really advanced, especially in leads for a specific brand and in the time on their experience as well.
That's fantastic. I'm sure there's a lot of also startup founders out there that are watching us. And for them, it's always interesting to understand what are the current trends, what are the future trends that you see upcoming as an insider, as a professional in that field.
First of all, I'd like to start with the technological trend. We have the AI-driven things. It gets more and more easier for us to design things. Then we have the technological rise of the connection, especially for mobile devices, because as a matter of fact, all websites and all flagship experiences we create, they are a little bit big, and it gets more and more easy to bring them to mobile devices.
So also the computing power helps.
Exactly. The computing power of the browsers, especially. The browsers, in the meantime, have the capacity to really show really nice experiences and stuff. And then there's a big third area, and that's the it's of course the metaverse. Media styles will melt together, and we have the fusion of video, animatics, graphics, and stuff. And there will be the day where we leave the browser. Of course, it is a really open race for the next device. We are really curious what the 2-3 next years will bring us. For now, I would say we have to rely on the browser. We have to rely on the devices we are used to, the tablet, the smartphone, and of course the notebook, or as you like. But of course, we are very curious what the near future will bring.
So the future is in mixed reality, and the next user interface will be voice.
It definitely will be. Voice is very, very interesting, and it will always be a little trend, and of course, there will be shifts. But I'm not so convinced, to be honest, that we will leave the browser immediately. So right now, for the foreseeable future, I would say it is helpful and useful to stick to the most common devices. And these are simply 9 to 16, 16 to 9, tablets or anything as you like. But maybe we will see a surprise, and maybe, for example, the Vision Pro of Apple will be really a big success. I'm curious. I'm not convinced now, but of course, maybe it will be a big success, and then, of course, we will follow immediately.
Well, it took some time for the iPhone, right, to take over the mass market. I think now we're in generation 15. So let's see how long it will take for glasses to evolve. And let's see what you guys built. I'm very much looking forward also to have you again when mixed reality has become a reality also for now. And when we have new success stories to tell. I'd suggest we go for our dinner now. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.